Good morning, everyone. It's about time to kick everything off and to start. We have a gray day, but nonetheless, it's a beautiful day because we're all here and breathing. So this first song, the words up there? Okay. This first song is a Harold Payne song. It's simple, it's repetitive, but I just love it because it starts out, makes you feel good. It's called Something Wonderful. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Well, I feel it in my body, and I feel it in my soul, and I feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Well, I feel it in my body, and I feel it in my soul, and I feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful, oh Lord, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Well, I feel it in my body, and I feel it in my soul, and I feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Yes, I feel it in my body, and I feel it in my soul, and I feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful.
Yes, thank you so much, Joe, and welcome to Unity of Hagerstown. Everybody here present and everybody watching virtually, we are so happy that you are here with us today. Are we ready for something wonderful? Yes. Oh, I didn't hear you. I'm ready for something wonderful, and this is the season of Advent. So we are on a spiritual adventure in which something wonderful very well may happen and occur to us not only today, but for the rest of Advent season. I invite you to join me now in our opening prayer. Just settling in and allowing gratitude to come forth. Being grateful for this time together, being grateful for this beautiful day, grateful for this season. And we open our hearts and we open our minds to new ideas, new expressions of who we are, the living expression of the divine. And we give thanks for all of this and so much more, for the wonderful, wonderful happenings that we feel, mind, body, and soul. Amen. So if you will, join me in our mission statement together. Unity of Hagerstown, a welcoming community, embraces spiritual awakening through affirmative prayer and meditation, creating a positive path of abundant living for all. And now we have the reading of the daily word with Arnie.
Morning, everyone. I don't know if I need this, but I guess for the Facebook friends, right? Hope and faith. As Advent season begins, I feel quickening, a renewal deep within me, as I embark upon the spiritual journey leading to Christmas. Over the year, I may have hope for lasting peace, greater love, or abiding joy, but as I have grown spiritually, I have learned to look for those things within, to claim them as aspects of my divine identity. Once I do that, I will begin to see them manifest in my life. Faith is how I begin to bring my hopes to life. Like my other divine gifts, I always have faith. It's up to me to decide how to use it. When I choose to believe that peace will blanket the earth, love will heal our hearts, and joy will bring harmony to the world's people. I am using the power of my faith to bring those visions to vivid life. John 1:5 says, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it." And let's do the affirmation on the screen. My hope leads me to deepen in faith. Embrace that. Hold that thought in your hearts. And one more time. My hope leads me to deepen in faith. Thank you.
Thank you, Arnie. It's a beautiful reading of the daily word today. And we have another beautiful song.
So this is talking about faith and sort of us being guided in one way or another. This is kind of a simple message along that line. It's called "I'm Gonna Sing." I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing, and obey the Spirit of the Lord. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout, and be the Spirit of the Lord. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray, and be the Spirit of the Lord. I'm gonna work when the Spirit says work. I'm gonna work when the Spirit says work. I'm gonna work when the Spirit says work, and be the Spirit of the Lord. I think that was it, yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Joe. Is that something that you wrote?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, this is one of our Unity songs.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, we have a special reading today, an Advent reading, and Paul is going to share that with us.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
As you look forward to the coming holiday season, make a conscious decision to start with the idea of hope, the expectation of good. Release any anxiety lingering from this past year's activities and experiences. Believe that there is sufficient power within you to redirect your thoughts to peace and harmony. Hope is the expectation of future good and is often impacted by time, but you are the one controlling process. When you activate faith, you don't have to see how or when. You just need to know. Know that you are working with the law of mind action that fully supports your hopes and desires, and that faith will draw them to you. Start now. Declare that this is the day to design the peace and harmony you desire for the coming holidays, with the full assurance that it is already done. From Luke 1:37, for nothing will be impossible with God. And there is an affirmation for this, and I will share it first, and then we'll do it twice, because it's not up there. Is it?
It is on there.
Oh, never mind. So if you'll read with me the affirmation. My hope is anchored in my faith in God. Do that again. Is that what's up there?
It says, on this day of Advent, my hope is anchored in my faith of God.
Oh, well,
We got it, yeah.
I didn't rehearse. Can you tell? On this day of Advent, my hope is anchored in
my
God.
faith in God. Oh, thank you, Paula. So we do have a time in which we can meet and greet our neighbors here. No newcomers today, so I don't have to tell you the drill. You have it down. I know you do. So let's go ahead and say hello to everybody. And at that time, I'm going to say hello to our Facebook friends. We love you. We appreciate you. And we really see the light that you are. And if you're watching on YouTube, not to keep you left out as well, we certainly love you and appreciate you and know that you are the light of God. Okay. I know they do. It's important. It's important. Ooh. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna dance when the Spirit says dance.
There you go, dance.
So let's go ahead and find our seats now.
Okay, everyone.
Thank you,
Time to
David.
sit down.
Let's find our seats, if you would. If you can hear my voice, go ahead and find a seat. Thank you so very much for finding your seat. And you know, we are going to have plenty of time after the service to continue on this lively greeting of our neighbors and our loved ones. Okay. So, Wilma Rudolph was born in 1940, one of 22 children. Her father had married twice, and she was born at 4.5 pounds. That's how much she weighed when she was born. Within the first 5 years of her life, she got scarlet fever, pneumonia, and polio. Infantile paralysis left her unable to walk without a brace until she was 12 years old. But deep within Wilma was a fierce determination to not only walk unhindered, but to be able to run as well. She believed she could do it. She had faith that she could do it. And by golly, she did it. Over a period of several years, she ran and she entered races, and she lost every single one that she ran. But as Pope Benedict XVI says, one who has hope lives a little differently. And she lived a little differently because she did not give up. She continued racing, and soon she began to win, eventually earning a bronze medal at the 1956 Olympics. And then she went on to enter the 1960 Olympics, and she won not one, not two, but 3 gold medals. Isn't that a great story of faith and determination? She was dubbed at that time the fastest woman ever. She retired shortly after the 1960 Olympics. She wrote her biography, if you're interested, and it was published in 1977. Her story is amazing. She died at the age of 54 in 1994. Her life is a shining example of how faith helps you achieve your dreams, even when the odds may seem to be against you. And just as Wilma's life took her on an adventure that no one could have predicted, so too is Advent our invitation for a spiritual adventure. And we can be open to whatever results that may come about. Even as Mary and Joseph traveled to Bethlehem for the birth of Jesus, we are on this spiritual journey ourselves, with our thoughts and our emotions, our own Mary and Joseph, metaphysically, traveling to the city of David, the city of Bethlehem, which is symbolic of that center of love. There to give birth to a greater understanding of who we are, the Christ consciousness, our higher self, our divine self. Joseph Campbell tells us the basic story of her hero's journey involves giving up where you are, going into the realm of adventure, coming to see some kind of symbolically rendered realization, and then returning to the field of normal life. You know, I kind of think that's what Wilma did, right? And so for the rest of Advent, let's see if we can turn this season into our own hero's journey, if you will, being changed somehow. I'm not going to start with Mary and Joseph on this first Sunday of Advent. I'm going to start with the story of Zacharias and Elizabeth. They were both righteous before God, the Christian testaments tell us, walking in all the commandments and ordinances. They were blameless, but they were childless as well. It was said that Elizabeth was barren, and in their elderly years, after I'm sure praying for a child and giving up hope on it, it came to pass that Zacharias, who was a priest, went to, as his job was, to burn incense, and he went into the temple of the Lord. Now, the temple was a place where the people could not go in. They congregated outside the temple and prayed while he lit incense. And while he was in there, an angel appeared unto him, standing on the right side of the altar. And when Zacharias saw him, well, guess how he responded? He was afraid. If you're familiar with biblical stories at all, most people are afraid when they see this apparition. But the angel said to him, "Fear not, Zacharias, for your prayer is heard, and your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you shall call his name John. And you'll have joy and gladness, and many shall rejoice at his birth. For he will be great in the sight of the Lord, and he shall be filled with the Holy Spirit." And Zacharias said to the angel, "How do I know this is going to happen? I mean, I'm old and my wife is no spring chick." Not in those words. Okay. And then the angel answered, saying, "I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God, and I was sent here to tell you these things and to show you these glad tidings. But because you didn't believe me, you're going to be struck dumb. You won't be able to speak until after this occurs." So the people who were outside the temple were waiting and waiting. It seemed like forever. They were wondering what was going on with Zacharias. And he came out, and he couldn't speak to them. And they saw that he had had a vision of some sort. And we're going to take a break in the story there and move into a metaphysical interpretation. Zacharias, who had to give up fear, had to give up doubt, had to even give up his voice, is in the midst of his journey, right? His hero's journey. Metaphysically, he stands for a transition from an intellectual understanding to a spiritual understanding. In other words, we might have read the books, we might understand how spiritual law operates, but maybe we haven't applied it into our lives on a consistent basis. This is where Zacharias was. Maybe that's where we are today. Maybe we are slowly moving into living that life where we understand spiritual law and we apply it in our lives, putting it into daily practice, having our faith grow. So Zacharias was a holy man, a priest, but even in his position of being a priest, he was still moving into greater understanding. Now, I can relate to this, okay, because I'm a minister, but I'm still moving into greater understanding. I am very much in my human expression at times, as you know. But we all are. That's the beauty of it, of being human and yet being divine. The incense in the story, because it changes from a solid form to smoke, signifies like a transformation or transmutation. It's a symbol of prayer, of the spiritual essence that's within. The angel, whenever there's an angel in the scriptures, it's always a message from the divine, a divine idea projected into our consciousness, a moment when we get an answer or like an aha moment or an idea. With Zacharias, it was to not fear, to move into faith, to believe. The altar is a place where we come and we lay down our offerings. Our inner altar is where we give up our small thoughts for more expansive thoughts, the ideas of limitation for the ideas of abundance, the ideas of illness or dis-ease for wholeness. So this story is all about change, about changing our consciousness from fear to faith. I read at one time that hope is emotional, belief is intellectual, faith is spiritual. In other words, I hope everything will work out. I believe that things could work out. I have faith that everything's working out perfectly. That's the difference. So both Zacharias and Elizabeth were righteous according to the story. They were right-minded. They were trying to do what was right. But that's not enough. Remember, he was a priest, metaphysically thinking spiritual thoughts, holding spiritual thoughts. But that's not enough. When we are given guidance, that inner prompting, that intuition, that message from God, that still small voice, if we do not have enough faith to follow it through, then we may lose our voice. If we are staying in fear, we may not lose it literally, but that voice, the power center, is our creative center. So we will dim that light a little bit. The Buddha tells us when your faith becomes stronger than your fears, then your dreams can be a reality. If we are living in fear and not stepping out in faith, then we're missing on some of the goodness in life, I believe. So how do we know if what we hear in the stillness or what we sense is our own intuitive whisper or is divine wisdom, or maybe it's just our own scattered thoughts? How do we know? Well, for one, for me, it comes from a deeper place of knowing. And it's like you know that you know. It also often comes during meditation or after meditation. And for me, it's usually something completely different than what I was thinking. And that's how it was with Zacharias. Zacharias was at the altar, and he believed he and his wife were too old for children. If we place our faith on our intellect or our reasoning ability only, and do not choose to place it in things of a spiritual nature, things that we may not be able to see readily, then that power center that we have in our throat lessens a little bit. We lessen the ability to speak the creative word. We have to follow through with faith with those messages. Zacharias did not believe his message, and this happens. Often we're invited to suspend our disbelief when we are guided somewhere in order to perceive a deeper truth. So faith has three qualities to it: the power of perception, conviction, and expectancy. In other words, seeing, knowing, and expecting the good. In many Advent booklets, the first Sunday is hope, and sometimes it's faith. I like this year's booklet, which, by the way, if you haven't received one yet, there's some out on the table in the foyer, because it includes faith and hope. They're not the same, but hope is a quality of faith. Faith is the power to make the impossible real. Our sense of reality is based on faith, what we believe to be real. Based on our perceptions, our awareness or consciousness, it forms our experience of our reality, because we gather evidence to support what we are thinking, what we are believing. If I believe it's going to be a good day, I'm looking for the good. If I believe it's going to be a miserable day, what am I looking for? So that's why it's probably good. It behooves us to question our perceptions, that are especially those that lead us to limited thinking, and to really seek a higher truth about our innate spiritual qualities and the goodness of life, truth about the interconnectedness and the essential goodness of people, truth about the law of mind action, that thoughts held in our mind are creating in the outer after their kind. Winifred Hausman tells us, faith is that quality in us which enables us to look past appearances of lack, limitation, or difficulty, to take hold of the divine idea and believe in it even though we do not see any evidence of it except in our mind. Faith is not something that's passive. We exercise faith when we see the impossible as possible, when we see our dreams as reality. And this leads us to another aspect of faith, and that is the conviction. It's the trust, the assurance, the confidence that all is well, that what we are holding in our thoughts, in our emotions, in our body, our vibration is manifesting. It's having that trust in God and being of a peaceful mind. Living in trust comes from a prepared consciousness, from time spent at that inner altar, if you will. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, tells us, faith is the highest expression of belief or confidence. It is that something in man which says, I believe in the possibilities of things that I cannot see. Living in faith, we maintain a sense of positive expectancy, which is hope. Joyously anticipating that things are going well, expecting to be blessed, expecting to know how to respond in any given situation, expecting meaningful and rich experiences, expecting to have our light shine. So our story of Zacharias continues now. After Elizabeth delivers a healthy baby boy, whom they name John, Zacharias finds his ability to speak has been restored. And it's said in the Testament, Christian Testament, he was filled with the Holy Spirit, the whole Spirit of God. Even if our faith falters at times, even if we lose our voice symbolically, when we place our faith on outside things rather than within, in the fullness of time, with the birth of a divine idea, we regain all that we had and more. This is the goodness of God. So I believe that the author of the Gospel of Luke was starting off his gospel by saying, hey, we are moving into the realm of spirit here. Pay attention. Put aside your reasoning. Reason with your heart instead. See with the eyes of love, not just the appearances. So Zacharias gave up his fear, his doubt, and his voice, and he realized a greater truth, that nothing is impossible with God, bless you. When his speech was returned, he was a changed man. He was filled with the whole Spirit of God. He knew it too, I believe. This is a classic hero's journey. So the question is, how will we allow this Advent season to impact us this year? How will we allow it to change us? Charles Fillmore tells us, now this faith that we are all cultivating and striving for is built up through continuous affirmations of its loyalty to the divine idea, the higher self. You must have faith in your spiritual capacity. We affirm something not to make it true, but because it is the truth of our being. So I invite you to join with me in this affirmation. Together, I have unwavering faith and I increase its power through daily use. Yes. So we're going to move into a time of meditation. I invite you to adjust your position if necessary, getting comfy. I'm going to start paying attention to your breath. Relaxing the body. Breathing into any area that has tension, allowing it to soften, allowing it to release. Inviting your thoughts to slow down. inviting your heart to open. I invite you to focus in your heart space. And for this meditation, I'm going to use today's daily word. So deep within, allow an excitement to begin as we embark on this spiritual journey. An excitement in what can be. Hope in what can be. Faith is how we bring our hopes to life. And we get to decide how we use our faith. We have all the faith we need. So let's together choose to believe that peace blankets the land. Becoming peaceful within your heart. See that peace spread out. Let's choose to believe that love is healing hearts now. And we allow that love to heal our own heart of any disappointment or anger, any resentment or doubt. We are wholehearted. And with each breath, love does its healing work. And we know that it can do its work within anybody and everybody. We have faith that it is so. So we bring in our friends, our family, our neighbors, our co-workers, and see love healing their hearts. We bring in people around the world in areas of conflict, in areas of peace, and see love healing their hearts. And now, as we focus again on our heart space, we allow joy to come forth. Joy bringing harmony, not only in our lives, but in everybody's life. And we may start this joy off with a simple smile. A smile on our lips, a smile on our hearts. And allow it to grow and to expand until there is joy and harmony, even though circumstances may not show it, but we can place our faith in it. Joy and harmony in this moment, with each breath. The peace, the love, the joy is strengthened in the silence. as we bring our meditation to a close, let us give thanks for this time of communion. And let us rejoice in the next song from Joe.
Once there was a spark, a little seed of light, drifting through the dark, just wanting to be bright. It gently fell to earth, and joyfully it grew, emerging from its birth as the miracle of you. Tears and fears arise when rain and shadows fall. Don't you close your eyes, or you can love it all, 'cause life was meant to live. Embrace it from the start, remembering to give the spark that's in your heart. We are seeds of light, children of the sun. We are born to shine, angels every one. We are seeds of light, sown with love, pieces of the dream God was dreaming of. Ever should you go, and whatever you become, may you always know where you started from, and may you never learn to hide the light you are, 'cause one day you'll return to heaven as a star. We are seeds of light, children of the sun. We are born to shine, angels every one. We are seeds of light, sown with love, pieces of the dream God was dreaming of.
Thank you, Joe. Yes. That was so beautiful. Now, was that one of your songs?
No, that was, but I happen to love that song. It's a beautiful song.
It was beautiful. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay, so I changed our offering prayer. This is the original prayer from Myrtle Fillmore, and it's short and sweet, but it's powerful, I believe. So let's join together in saying this. Together, divine love through me prospers you. Now turn to your neighbor and say that. Divine love through me prospers you. Now tell it to the whole room. Divine love through me prospers you. Now let's tell it to the world, okay? Divine love through me prospers you. Yes. I feel it so. And while we have our offering taken, I think Joe is going to sing another song.
Yes. I, the Lord of sea and sky, I have heard my people cry, all who dwell in lowliness, my hand will save. stars of night. I will make their darkness bright. Who will bear my light to them? Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, if you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart. I, the Lord of snow and rain, I have borne my people's pain. I have wept for love of them. They turn away. I will break their hearts of stone, give them hearts for love alone. I will speak my word to them. Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, if you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart. I, the Lord of wind and flame, I will tend the poor and lame. I will set a feast for them. My hand will save. Finest bread I will provide, till their hearts be satisfied. I will give my life to them. Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, if you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart.
Thank you, Joe. So, we have a lot of clipboards going on here, a lot of clipboard action. We have a lot of announcements, too. Wednesday is our sound bath, the first Wednesday of every month. Lovely time to relax and get in tune. Get in tune. And then on next Sunday, we have a volunteer appreciation recognition immediately after the service. We hope all volunteers can come. And if you're here and you want to stick around, that's fine, too. There's going to be plenty for everybody. But we are going to recognize the volunteers. And then on the 13th of December, we have, which is a Wednesday, a Blue Christmas service for those who are not into the holly jolly spirit of things, but want to spend some time more contemplative and honoring of those maybe who have passed or whatever grief they may be holding. And then on the 20th, the summer solstice. I believe. No. The winter solstice, we will have a labyrinth set up and also a service as well. There are volunteer opportunities. If you're interested in volunteering, what we're looking for now is hospitality, someone to help with the trash and vacuum and dust the sanctuary after the service, or it could be after the service, and also AV. And I'll send that around. And then we have Holly Place stockings that we give to the residents there. We have 2 clipboards. one for stocking stuffers and others for like special gifts for each resident. And I'll send that around too. And those need to be back here next Sunday. If you sign up to bring a stocking stuffer, they need to be back here next Sunday. And after the service, after the volunteer recognition, we will stuff stockings, okay? And then, the chairs, if you're able and willing to move the chairs after service today, that would be helpful. And then in the newsletter that I went out on Wednesday, I put in there a spiritual checkup. And a couple people said they couldn't print out. If you get the newsletter and you are able to print, that's great. It's something I'm offering you for the start of the year, or you could use it for your birthday. It doesn't matter. Just a way to look over things. Come talk to me about it and see maybe we can figure out a way to have the best year ever, right? Okay. So if you can't print out from the weekly newsletter and you would like to have one that I printed, please let me know. So as these go forward, okay, Holly Place. And please I'm going to put this one over here. This is for hospitality and trash and vacuum and AV. And you'll get training on the AV if you volunteer for that. So while that all goes forward, we're going to say goodbye to our Facebook friends. We love you. We see you as that light of the divine, and hope you have a wonderful day and a great week. And let's just say, while we say goodbye, that